we're going to put together an EQX. So we're just going to take a look at the kit, we're going to put it together, we're going to show you the different ways it goes together, as well as some of the nuances of the Build It Your Way. So don't forget to hashtag Instagram and Facebook with Build It Your Way, and let's get going. So we're going to open up the packaging. So just take that, and we're just going to see what's inside. So we've got the 4 arms. In this version we're doing the True X. So it's a 5-inch true. We've got 3 frame plates. We've now got another 2 frame plates, and we'll get into why we've got so many extra little frame plates. And then we've got a whole bunch of little hardware. So let's just see. We've got some hardware. We've got a pad with a couple of nylon and some more hardware, and then a bit more hardware and some carbon, and then we've got some standoffs. Right, so that's everything in the bag, and included is a cool sticker. So I think the first thing we do is stick that down somewhere on our build mat. Okay, so now we're gonna just take everything apart and see where we start. So let's go through, I'm gonna put the arms aside and we can go through that in a second. Let's have a look at the frame plates. So we've now got 3 frame plates here. So we got that, and those 2. And now we sort of see how this all fits together. But I'm gonna take you into these frame plates. Let's just put these aside. Just keep those there. Let's open up these bags, and you got another 2. So you're going to ask me, why do we have all these different frame plates? So effectively, we've got this guy that's going to clamp your arms. So if we take any arm, you're going to see that an arm's going to fit there, and that's going to clamp there. And what we're doing effectively is meaning that we can clamp to either one of these plates. You can choose that as your bottom, or even if you really want to be crazy, you can choose this as your top plate and flip the whole thing upside down, and now you've got your arms up top and your bottom plates over there. So this guy's always used as a top plate, but can be used as a bottom plate. You guys must come up, that's why we say build it your way, and send us some photos, tag them on Instagram. We want to see the way you guys put this together. We're giving you the freedom to do it how you want. So let's turn that around so they're all facing the right way. So you can see this is a top plate specifically because it's there to do strapping and putting a GoPro mount to the top, or strapping your battery up top. Otherwise you can also undersling your battery, and that's why we give you this nice foam pad at the bottom. So now that gives you an idea of all the plates. We're going to put one together, which is the standard, which you guys got in your kit, which is actually those ones there. So if we take those, that's sort of the build we're going to do today, which is the sort of standard starter way to go about it. You're always going to have these as spare. If you go to Joshua Blom, so Blom FPV, and go check out his channel, he has done a build with using the plates this way. So he's only used those plates there, and you'll see his build and how he did it for super light build in a stretch frame for sort of a more race edition stretch frame. So go check that out at Blom FPV. We'll tag that in the description. Let's take those out and let's get back to how we're going to build it today. Let's take that out, and there we go. So we're looking at that. So in the kit options on the website, you're going to see a whole bunch of different arms. These are if you see the boomerang arm, these are the True X, which means they give you an exactly True X format for 5-inch props. What we've also got on the site is a 5-inch stretch. You'll see this weird sort of configuration here, which if you line it up there, you can see it gives you that sort of stretch effect with the props all the way at the front, close to each other. And then we've also got a 4-inch arm, 5-inch wide arm, so that's the usual H configuration, and then the same for a 6-inch. This will come into effect later on. You'll see some of the new products we're going to do in the next coming weeks that will involve these, something cool with the 6-inch. There we go. So we're going to stick to the 5-inch, so we're going to put those out the way, and let's get the other 4 arms out. So you'll see them all. There we go. So we've got the 4 arms. As you can see, they're all interchangeable. We have spares of the arms. They're very affordable for the arm itself to replace. And we're going to build it in a way that, you know, quick replacement of arms is actually an easy thing to do. You can see in the standoff pack we've given you more than enough, so we're looking at, you've got 4 25mm standoffs and 4 35mm standoffs, and you'll see why. And the way we're going to build this now is tough. It's tough, so it's going to take a pounding, it's going to take a hammering, and then we'll go into all the other bits. So let's take apart some of the other bags. So in here you've got a standard camera bracket. The thing you got to watch out for with the camera bracket is that if you see you line them up, they are not, this height of the hole is not the same, so it is slightly offset down below. So I just line them up together, make sure that the hole lines up perfectly so that they're level, because if you put them the wrong way around, your camera's going to sit skew. So just make sure when you do put them in that the hole lines up and everything's fine, because if it is not the right way around, if you did it that way around, you'd actually notice that it's slightly offset. So just make sure that these two are the same. And that fits a standard HS 1177. And now, another thing that we've included in is a hanging camera bracket. So if you were doing, like, say, a build similar to Josh Blom's, you would do something like this. So you'd be using a nut and an 8mm M3 screw to hold that in place, and that creates your hanging bracket. So if you didn't want to do a top and bottom plate that was a big bottom plate and you want to sort of save weight, then you would just slot that in there like that, and then you'd grab your nut, you'd wedge that in here, and sort of the cut of the carbon keeps it all together. You take an M3, you would throw that in, just wedge it in, just making sure it wedges up against the sides. Take your 2mm M3 screwdriver, so 2mm screwdriver or hex driver, and throw that in, and that is now solid. So now you've got your hanging camera bracket. So if you didn't want to go through the fuss of having a bottom plate and hanging the camera that way, you could hang it this way. So again, build it your way. You guys choose. We're giving you that choice. Cool, so this is just an option in the kit. Now that you know about it, it's there, use that option if you need it. Okay, next, so we've got these guys, we're actually going to use these in our build. Let's go through some of the hardware and what puts everything together. Right, so we're going to start putting together the arm. So you'll get a little bag with, it's going to have your foam pad, it's going to have some nylon, which we're not going to need just yet. The nylon is actually for mounting your flight controller onto. And we've given you some little nuts to hold that down, so any of your sort of hardware for your flight controller can go onto the nylon bits. But let's stick to this stuff, which is just all the stainless steel. So everything's pure stainless steel in the kit. You're gonna take your bottom plate, thread it through, and then take your arm and you're gonna thread it through that center hole. And after that, you're gonna put this top plate on and take your clinch nut, as it's called, and just solidify that in. So it's not going to go into the carbon, you've actually just got to tighten it, and as you tighten it, it's going to clamp into the carbon. But at the moment, we're literally keeping it nice and loose just to keep the arm in place, and we're going to do this for now all 4 arms. Right, so we've got everything now seated. It's obviously, we haven't tightened down these clinch nuts, they're still a bit loose, so you've still got play in your arms, which is good at this point. We're now going to pull out our other hardware. So we've got a few other nuts and bolts. As you can see, we've got some long ones and a few shorter, all different lengths. So let's just group them into little piles so we can figure out what we've got in this and where we need to go. Okay, there we go. So there's a whole bunch of little short guys and So what we're actually going to look for, so the short guys we actually need for the mounting the plates top and bottom. Those we're going to need there, and we've got 4 of those there. So we actually want to use these guys for strength, and these guys are going all the way through the frame and back up again. So you'll see they go through, and these are the ones that are holding all the tension in the arms together. So if you line them up, get it in, and all the way through. There we go. That's also through. That's also through. Cool. Now, we're taking these lock nuts and pushing those through as well. And those are going to have to be tightened all the way down. And I'll show you why we're doing this in a second. But this is crucial for your 25mm standoffs. So again, an extra tool you're going to need for this build is a set of long nose pliers, because you're going to need to tighten these guys all the way down, which is going to take a bit long, but well worth it for the strength that you're getting of these long screws all the way through the standoff. Okay, so the next step is we just want to tension up the arms themselves, which means you're going to key them into their sort of slots. So just pulling out and pulling these arms towards each other. So that's just pushing them all in and together at the center. And then after you've done that, given them all that, then you're going to start pulling these guys into the actual carbon so that they lock in place. And that's just tensioning them up so that they're completely tight. And that's just 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you're going to do the same with your outside ones, and you're going to probably need your pliers for that. So you're just going to grip those lock nuts and tension them up. So now it's just completely locking down all your arms. There we go. The same on this side. And one more to go. So these lock nuts have 2 uses here. They actually act as a bit of a spacer, but they also hold the frame in place. And you'll see what I mean by spacer when we start assembling these guys. So your 25mm basically sit on top. So they all sit there. We'll do this for all 4 of them. And there we go. Other side. And there we go. So that's your 4 standoffs, and now we're going to do the same. You do have these spare, they could be used for other options, but what we're going to do now is we'll use the longer ones at the bottom just to give a bit more thread getting your 35mm from the bottom. And we're going to do that. It's going to go through there like that. Same here. One more, rolling away. Yeah. So there's your structure. Now we're looking at our camera mounts. Remember, like I said, just please check them. We want, it depends either way, depending on how high and low your camera is and your camera angle. I'm going to keep the lower end, which is actually that end, down. And they just key into those positions. What we've also created are these holes here. So if you have one of those camera brackets included in like the Foxia camera range, you can actually fit that in there and not use these at all. So that's again, another choice. Build it your way. Hashtag. Cool. Then this is your top plate. So the top plate, we've given all these sections here. You can tape your VTX to here and still loop a cable tie through this section and not over your actual VTX. That's what we suggest. And this will take Creative Decks or any of those 3D printed mounts with a degree on it, and that'll fit here perfectly. And again, we've given you another hole at the top here to do a hanging bracket from the top instead, and not using our included brackets. So that option is there too. What's also cool about the top plate is we've given you an option to tie in your antenna and cable tie it all the way through onto the actual mounts and through the pigtail if you want. That takes a standard Unify pigtail, and you could bolt it onto there and have it nice and extended and proud out the back. We'll give you, later in this video, we'll give you a few other cool options that we've been playing with, and even stuff that we've modded. And guys, please feel free to mod this as much as you want. Share it with us and show us what you've done, because that's what this is all about. So let's put this guy together. So I'm just gonna put these in to just hold stuff in place. See, that one just goes in, and same with this one. So like I said, this is a build made for strength. It's not made to be light. You've added all this extra weight and all this extra hardware, but that's just giving you strength. So the extra standoffs are there to protect your gear, make sure that the frame is rigid and strong. But again, you don't have to use everything. So you don't have to use all the standoffs and all the hardware. You could lighten this build up a lot by only using the central 4 25mm standoffs. Don't have to use the big bottom plate, so you can get rid of all that carbon as well, and build it sort of the same way Josh built it in his video. Yeah, if you guys have any videos of your own builds, let us know, and just comment below, and we'll definitely link it and share it. So that's it. Now we've got a few screws left over. We always leave a few in the box for you, so just in case, just to take you through the pad. The pad fits neatly here. It's double-sided tape, so you just remove that, slot it in. That just protects your battery from any of these screws actually indenting into your battery. So that's pretty much our EQX, the True X5 build assembled. We'll do some tight close shots so that you can actually see all the intricacies of the build, but it's fairly simple. It took me a few minutes to put that together. Good luck with your builds, and enjoy. So just some quick hints and tips. You want to dull your carbon over here, so this will definitely cut your battery. I mean, I would dull all the edges as well with some prep work. And, a lot of the frames out there, do suggest that you guys prep your edges, dull them a bit to give them a bit more strength. This is 3K Taiwanese twill carbon. It's top of the line carbon. But I would just dull that because it will cut your battery straps if you're going to strap your battery around the bottom here. Same with the battery straps at the top here. Just take a light bit of sandpaper and dull these edges, because that will cut anything. Right guys, so another cool tip or build tip is your XT60 leads. That's what this is also for. You don't have to just clamp antennas to it. So you can effectively slide, got your XT60 there, you've still got some give, you'll put some cable ties at like 2 or 3, and now you'll have your XT60 available at the back here if you're not sticking your antenna here. So the other option would be top and bottom. So here's another bottom plate, so this could replace this plate here. And you do the same thing here. So you'd put the XT60 there, clamp it down, still have some give on the XT60 as well. You could extend it out a bit more if you wanted to, and that would obviously go straight onto your power distribution board. And you'd have these two plates effectively, top and bottom. And then on your top plate you'd have your antenna coming out. So yeah, using a normal XT60 pigtail, strapping it down. That's just another cool idea. So another cool build tip. So this is my racer. So what we've done here is we've basically got 10mm nylon with a 6mm nylon standoff above it. We're running a normal stainless steel nut holding it in place, and obviously that's a standard Unify pigtail then attached to your Unify antenna, or any antenna actually. What we did do was just drill this out a bit, so just a slight, taking a bigger drill bit like an 8mm bit, drilling it out, and then using a silicone grommet to actually keep it in place. What I've also done is strengthened around this with a bit of heat shrink, which then obviously when the antenna bends, it's only bending on above the heat shrink. So this gives us a lot of play. It doesn't, the antenna doesn't actually get in the props. It gets nowhere near the props. It's above the frame, which is great for reception, especially when you're racing. And yeah, just all in all, a very rigid and good way to just put your antenna out there, and it at least doesn't get in the way of everything else. But this was another build tip that came out. Right guys, talked about how to do a GoPro mount, session mount at the top. Again, camera angle can be high, so let's just show the two cable ties through, and then how we did it underneath the frame. So you can see here, it doesn't actually go over the VTX, which is mounted in the middle there. We've just kept it over the carbon itself, and then it goes over the top, so it's a loop round, and that holds this permanently in place. There's still play on it. It's actually really nice. We've also, if you can see, we've left some space so that you can put your battery strap all the way around. And if you can see my stubby antenna sitting at the back here, probably wouldn't recommend this. I did this as sort of an experiment. This doesn't stay enough. It does clip with props every so often, which isn't ideal. But if you ever wanted a tight, stubby build, this was one of the ideas we played around with. You can see the cable ties holding that in place. And then again, just to highlight the XT60, I haven't even clamped that in place with cable ties, but it's just sitting out the back there. There we go. Build it your way.